We got two last topics. I'm gonna do the movie block now. Now, before anyone freaks out, I'm planning to do this in like 10 to 15 minutes. There's just a lot of movies, but I have little short blurbs I've written down to say about them to just breeze by.
Do you want me to time you?
No, don't put me up. I'm not in school right now, Joe.
All right.
You have 1 minute left in your speech before you get deducted a letter grade. So, I didn't just watch these movies. I've been doing a lot of research. My writing output, which is a side hobby of mine, has been very high lately, and I've been really getting down to it and like taking some notes about a variety of movies to kind of pick apart kind of like their connective structure. I'm not going to get into it, but that's like... And also, around the holidays, when I have time, and I'm like, after I've done the Game of the Year rush, it's like, oh, fuck, finally time for movies. So I go on a huge movie binge around this time, every year, pretty much. So I'm going to list out the movies. When I do, let me know if you've seen the movies so we can have a very quick chat about it. Now, I've listed the movies from my favorite to least favorite. That being said, there's a couple movies that I watched since the last podcast that are not in order. I'm just gonna list them now.
Oh yeah.
We got Glass Onion, which me and Joe watched. I love this movie, and I think it's a worthy, if not as good, if not even slightly better, the more I think about it, follow up to Knives Out.
I agree. Good movie. I think it's a great follow up. I don't want to talk any more about it because of obvious spoilers reasons, but I think Rian Johnson does a good job in replicating Agatha Christie's mystery methodologies.
Yes, which actually, getting into that, Agatha Christie is my next read now that I finish Red Seas Over Red Skies. Now, where I'm going to start with that bitch, where she's written 600 books, I don't know, but we'll figure it out.
I would recommend And Then There Were None.
But that's the best one, so I can't start there, I think.
Okay, then I recommend The Murder on the Orient Express.
I was thinking that or The Murder in the Library. It's something simple to... It's like a 600...
Murders.
These are like... When I do it at 1.5 speed, those are going to be like 3.5 hour journeys, so I'm trying to bang them out on my plane flight. Okay, so that's Glass Onion. Me and Joe also watched The Menu. The Menu is fucking hilarious. Great movie.
Menu is very good. I feel like a lot of themes that Glass Onion has, a lot of similar themes of movies that have been coming out lately.
Yes.
I would. It's a dark comedy. I would recommend just like not kind of like knowing anything about the movie.
Its base premise is a bunch of people get invited to a super Michelin chef's big night where he's doing something very experimental, and it goes from there. Yeah. Three of us watched the Guardians Holiday Special, and I quite liked that. It was very fun, 40 minutes.
That was a good.
Tyler hated this because he hates the Guardians.
Did I hate this?
I don't know. I think you had it in your lowest tier of a Marvel movie in Phase 4. I remember.
I don't think I commented on this with you, to be honest.
I have receipts. Hold on. We'll do it later.
Are you sure it wasn't like that scene yet?
No, we watched it together.
I know.
I thought it was just neutral. Like it was not bad, not good. It
was a short, fun time. I'm just such a fan of the Guardians.
Mm-hmm.
How did they have such a touching how does James Gunn, he's such a fucking idiot and his humor is so stupid, and then at the end of the movie he makes you feel some real ass human emotions. He did it with Suicide Squad, he does it with all the Guardians movies. I don't know, he's got a talent for it.
I think it was okay.
And then I watched Bullet Train, and look, I feel gaslit. This is, out of every movie in this list, this is probably bottom 1 or 2.
All I'm saying is you're the outlier of all the people that I know that have watched this movie. So
yeah, and you guys are the outlier of the people I watched. None of us had a good time by the end.
Damn.
The dialogue is trying so hard to be quippy. None of the characters are good. The most damning thing is the action in this movie is so incredibly mid. Rewatch this movie and try to pick out a cool action scene. Because when you see this movie in the trailers and you see like the lighting and the vibe, you're like, oh, this shit's gonna be crazy and super fun. And it divulges into people blocking a syringe with a briefcase while someone calls them a bitch 30 times. And then it's like the most standard action scene. I just expected so much more. And then complete nonsense near the end. Ugh.
I watched this movie 4 times
Oh.
over the break, all with different people who all enjoyed it.
Yeah, no, people like this movie.
It's not like The Kingsman.
No, that's a fucking movie.
No, that's a movie with an action scene.
Yeah, like, but it is entertaining nonetheless. And I think to justify Willer's point of saying it is a good movie is in that scene, it is all about a character who has bad luck, but his bad luck is actually like good luck. He's just a really pessimistic guy.
That's the one really good joke and gag of the movie.
But yeah, he works for an assassination agency, but he's not an assassin. He's just a guy who does simple shit. So that's why all the combat is really bad, because he doesn't do combat.
There's other characters in the fucking movie, and that, like, I don't know, the movie has a lot of uninteresting action for what it should have.
The bitch character is also a parody of the Nightmare Man from Rick and Morty, by the way. I know that's a little highbrow above your head to understand, Willard. Probably IQ, your friends too.
My IQ is a little low, I will admit it.
Yeah. So I get that. Also, I think the action is probably pretty mid in this movie because it's real and not like, 3D like probably other movies you're used to.
No, get that shit right out of here.
Because the ending of this movie is them, like, spoilers alert.
That's okay. Okay, yes, obviously that part is 3D. That's it.
Are you I want to reach over and punch you like real. It's called good choreography. I know you wouldn't know it because you like movies like this. I don't know. Go watch Everything Everywhere All at Once, which is a fucking comedy movie with
I have seen that movie
with 10,000 times better action.
It does have better action.
All right.
Anyways, bad movie. Bradley should watch it and break the tie. But I'm just telling you.
I don't like that idea.
Okay.
Yeah, Willer's heavily one-sided in this space.
There is no tie to break, but maybe you can make one.
So I will say, for a movie being made by a stunt coordinator, I watched 2 movies last year made by stunt coordinators. One was good, which was Bullet Train, and one was very shit bad, which was that vampire movie.
Right. You did not like that.
That was
you would. Days Gone. Whatever it's called. Days Out. Night Watch.
Yeah.
Day Watch.
I don't remember. It was that bad. It's Jamie Foxx.
Yeah. Anyways, let's get to the binge.
Day Shift.
Okay. No. Yes, Day Shift. So the worst movie of the binge was A Star Is Born. Anyone watch that one?
That's the Lady Gaga movie,
That's
right?
the Bradley Cooper, Lady Gaga romance drama music movie.
A lot of people seem to like that movie. I thought was well received.
This movie is very well received.
Got Oscars,
which is why I was so bummed that I didn't really vibe with it.
I feel like it's on that La La Land spectrum.
No, La La Land I think is brilliant. The thing with this movie is the chemistry between Lady Gaga and B. Coop isn't quite there. I wasn't invested in how they started dating. And ultimately, Bradley Cooper is a very unlikable character in this movie and has almost no redeeming qualities. And you're supposed to kind of feel for him near the end. And, like, I kind of did. He's an alcoholic. He's got issues. But there wasn't anything for me to grab on there, and I don't know, and like one of the most interesting plot points gets brushed right by, which is like Lady Gaga very subtly sells out as her career's taken off, and like I thought that could have been more interesting, but it just kind of becomes a fight that then moves on to other things. I will say, one thing I do like about Bradley Cooper is they start touring together, because he hears her in like a drag show, and he's like, "Hey, that voice is great. You're gonna come do country with me." And then they do. And when she does like start getting her own big breaks, what's beautiful is that Bradley Cooper is happy for her. He's not jealous. And like that's like the one thing that made me like his character. But it's not a bad movie. by any means. It's just my least favorite. Next up, we got Boy State. I bet you guys have never even heard of this movie.
Nope.
Sounds gay. Just kidding.
No, not quite. In fact, if you said that to them, they would be very mad because Boy State is a thing that exists in real life. It is a high school activity where every state has a Boy State. This takes place in the Texas Boy State, so it hits close to home.
Yeah.
Where everyone goes to the Capitol. You sign up, you go to the Capitol, and you run a mock government for 1 week. I think this happens during the summer.
We had some homies from my grade school do Boy State.
I feel like Tyler is the kind of person that, if he was a little more politically inclined when he was younger, would go to a Boy State, for example. This has
debatable. Those are the debate kids. I don't vibe with them.
I could see you being a debate kid, but I also.
Oh fuck no! Highly despise.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. You're definitely a theater kid, but like different because you come from South Park. But that's a story for another day. So this follows 4 kids in the Boy State, and it's just a bunch of kids. You got one of them running for governor. You got one of them that's like I think he's like a black gay kid. And this is Texas Boy State in 2016, so it's very Trump heavy. The thing that comes out the entire fucking movie is gun laws. These kids do not shut the fuck up about gun laws. They care so much about it. Abortion comes up here and there as well. And succeeding from the United States comes up here and there. Because, Trump era.
Of course.
It's very conservative leaning. However, like one of the kids, and he's running for governor, which is the highest seat you can run at during Boy State, is like a Hispanic liberal kid. And another one who is running against them early on but doesn't make it to the final stage is like, when you see him, he screams like the typical conservative, charming, white boy politician that you see like all over the news in red states and stuff. And he's like really playing the role, but you find out that like the twist, like a bit of a twist, it's like he's not really into a lot of the things he's saying. And a lot of these kids are having to lie about their platform so they win. And it just makes you feel kind of bad where it's like, oh my god, these politicians learn so early to not have morals and just get votes. And
that's literally debate. Like, it's not about morals at all. It's literally only about money.
Okay, no, but this isn't debate club. This is politician club.
It's like, I had friends who did Boy State. It's the same concept. It's the same people.
I'm saying like debate you should be debating for stuff you don't necessarily believe in, because that's what debate is. In politics, it's just sad that like they're completely okay with just throwing away their morals from the start. Like this is just how they go into it, and then they just kind of go whatever their constituents want, which is like, it's just an encapsulation in a documentary of everything I dislike about politics. But it was really good. It was still very enjoyable, and I recommend it.
Is it a documentary or is it like a...
It is a documentary. It's a real Boy State that happened in 2016 with real people.
Oh, damn, that's cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
And it's following 4 of them. And then I watched a movie called Triangle of Sadness. This is one of the Oscar baits of 2022 on the list. Mm-hmm. This is such a weird movie, dude. Okay, so it's about a male model who's dating a female model. The female model makes all the money because she's a female model, and they're in an industry where she would have that dynamic over him. Right. The movie has a lot of like gender roles and gender flipping as a result. Mm-hmm. So, and it's also very much about wealth disparity and then flipping that on its head too. So part 1 of the movie is about the 2 main characters, and they have a fight over like, hey, how come I always have to pay for dinner because he's the guy? She makes more money, but he's the guy, so he has to pay. And like that's kind of like where that fight kind of goes. So it's kind of setting that theme up. Part 2, they get randomly invited to a yacht. This yacht, the captain is a drunk Woody Harrelson, who I love Woody Harrelson. And then you meet a lot of the people who are in this yacht, and also the crew that works in the yacht. So there's the front-facing crew, all the people in white. They do whatever the customer want kind of people. The Filipinos who work at actually cleaning and cooking and are like subjugated to the bottom of the yacht. So there's like that visual symbolism. And then all the rich people on the yacht. It's like a big cruise yacht, I think. And like shit goes wrong where like one of the ladies is like, hey, all of the servers get in the pool, come on, I want it to happen. And they're like, the customer's always right, everybody get in the pool, which leads to food being really bad. Everyone has food poisoning and shit literally hits the fan, as there's about a 20-minute stretch of this movie that is just people drunkenly throwing up and shitting, and like the ship is swinging in the storm and it's awful. And then the pirates show up, and part 3 happens. Somali pirate kind of vibe shows up, capsizes the ship. Next thing you know, a couple of those people you met are on an island, and now it is an island survival movie for the rest of the movie. However, it took 2 hours to get to this point, it took 80 minutes to get to this point. I think the movie really did not need to take 80 minutes to get to that point, to establish those themes I talked about. Because the third part of this movie is fucking great. Because the one person that can provide food was one of those workers that the movie didn't pay any attention to. She's just like a middle-aged woman who can fish well. So because of that, she's able to provide food. Because of that, she's the de facto leader because they're in a survival island situation. And then she starts to rule the land. She's like the boss lady. People kind of like, she's annoying, but because they only have each other, like bonds form. Like one of the pirates washes up with them, and they're like, yo, you're a pirate. He's like, you think I'm a pirate just because I'm black? Turns out in the end he was a pirate, but like they're all friends by the end. So when he's saying it, they don't really care. And like the lady starts using that male character as like a fuck toy in the beach for like favors, and like now he's having to whore himself out, and it becomes a complete matriarchy. Because all the rich people on the boat don't know how to fend for themselves, and there's a woman on top. So, it does all that to twist it. None of you will watch this movie, so I'm going to spoil the ending real quick. They find out the whole time they were on a resort beach. And the girlfriend and the matriarch go out, and they're the ones that stumble on it. And they're, like, super happy. And the girl's like, hey, you get to go back to your family. We get to escape here. And the lady's like, oh, right, I don't have a family in the real world, and I'm a fucking boat server, and I have nothing going for me. Well, on this island, I'm the fucking queen. So it ends with her contemplating murdering the girl in order to hide the secret of the island. Which is, like, when it culminates to that, that's a fantastic scene. I don't think she ends up murdering the girl, and even if she does, it doesn't matter, because it's only a matter of time before they find out the resort island.
Yeah, I don't. Even from just people stumbling onto them, I don't think that would last very long.
Exactly, like they found out because a bracelet salesman stumbles by this Russian lady who can't really speak. She's mute, and she's like, "Oh shit, no one's around me, but hey, there's people on the island." I don't know. This would be a very good movie if the first 2 parts were shortened. It's still quite good. I finally watched Lego Batman after trying to watch it 3 times in the wrong languages.
We did it.
I got it. Hey, guess what? This movie's fucking great.
Yeah.
I imagine all of you have seen this one?
I have seen it.
I have not.
Since it came out.
But you watched it before. Did you like it?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, everyone likes Lego Batman.
Yeah. I think it's like leaning into a meme of Batman that I think is just completely inaccurate. That would be like my one thing I don't like. Everything else is great. It's super funny. These Lego movies look beautiful.
That's the thing. Lego Batman is like his own character.
I would love to know what meme of Batman you don't think is real.
It's leaning into the Batman thinks he's super cool and strong. Yeah. And like almost no version of Batman actually likes himself that much. Like this is an egotistical, like, I'm Batman, I'm super cool. But it like that's just a meme Batman based on a Christian Bale voice. Like, there's almost no iteration of the character that really fits that. Now, the themes they're exploring are very Batman, which is the theme of, like, not wanting to open yourself up to a family again. That's fantastic. So it still works out in the end.
How did you like the Joker-Batman romance?
I don't love it. I also don't love Joker's voice. Will Arnett, though, as Batman is fucking fantastic.
Yeah.
The Joker was not great. A lot of the other villains, like Catwoman, fucking cracked me up anytime she spoke.
You know, that is Catwoman from the Batman, right?
Oh, wait, really?
Yeah, it's Zoe Kravitz.
That's so funny. Like, Catwoman's gimmick in this is like she doesn't have many lines, But after she says the line, she goes meow meow, like she just does stupid cat noises, and it's so funny to me.
Yeah. Also,
Also, the song that Batman sings at the very start is a banger, and I should probably go listen to that again.
Mm-hmm. Also, other little fun fact and tidbits there. God, what's his name? Oh God, the guy who plays Lando Calrissian. This is a really weird like trivia tangent, but he played Harvey Dent in the original Batman movie with Michael Keaton in it.
Right.
And he was promised to play Two-Face later. They ended up ditching that entirely and had Tommy Lee Jones play Two-Face.
Yeah.
And so he plays Two-Face in this movie now.
That's cute.
Yeah.
Other joke I have to mention is the Police Harvard joke, which is where Barbara Gordon graduated from. That always slayed me. Okay. I also watched The Northman. This would be the second 2020 Oscar bait movie.
I want to watch The Northman. I contemplated seeing that in theaters.
I highly recommend you specifically watch The Northman.
I want to see naked people going berserk on each other.
That's The Northman. The Northman is the story of there was a king and a child. The king was of like a Viking-style king. He comes back. I think he's played by someone really good. I think it was Ethan Hawke. They do like this ritual, this movie does a lot of mystical things where it's like, was that actual magic, or are they just tripping off of shit they're eating, or are they like just seeing things? It's a really cool, like, you can't tell what was real and what wasn't. There's a scene with a Valkyrie in the second half of the movie that looks stunning. It's like, is this happening? Is this real? There's a scene where Zeus shows up, and I don't know what that was all about, but like that makes it cool. It feels like a myth. It's Norse, of course. Anyways, the king's brother kills him and betrays him. The kid sails away, grows up, becomes a Viking, comes back for revenge. He becomes a slave for the person he's trying to get revenge on, who is now no longer king. He lost his kingship and is just a sheep farmer. So from the start, he's getting revenge on a person who's below like the level that they killed their brother to get. Like, they've already fallen from grace, and he's still going for revenge.
That's sick.
And the cool parts of this movie are the mythology and like how testosterone masculine it is. Like, there's some hardcore shit that goes on, and like there's a part of this movie where the main character goes into a Dark Souls level and fights a boss from Dark Souls. And then it's like, I don't think that happened in real life, but it was cool. And then he gets a sword that can only be unsheathed during the night. Should he unsheath it during the day, he will lose his soul. Like, it's got cool shit like that.
Cool.
That leads us to Decision to Leave. This was another 2022 popular Oscar bait movie. However, this is the 2022 Korean movie of the year. I'm glad that there's one now per year. This is a detective story, and it follows a detective who one day they find a dude fell from a mountaintop and he's just dead on the ground. They start questioning his wife. They find out that he beats his wife. Finds out that the wife has plenty of motives to kill him. It goes from there. You find out that the wife did kill him, but the way that she gets away with it is that she forms a romantic relationship with the head detective. And it's really a romance thriller because they build up this romance the whole movie. And you find out she does it by the halfway point in the movie. There's a lot more after that goes on, and it's very good as well.
Interesting.
One thing I want to note about this movie is like crazy directing techniques where like someone will be looking through a telescope and then the camera will pan and show them in the room that they were looking into, observing the person they were spying on up close to kind of like symbolize like how creepy that spying is. It puts them right next to it. So sometimes it goes a little too crazy, but I think it was all in all really good directing. Korean movies kind of slap. I need to watch more of them. Tracking down this movie was a pain in the ass, though. I could not find it through my usual means, so I had to get a subscription to Mubi, the movie service.
According to this, it's on Amazon. Oh, it's with the premium subscription, though.
Yeah, I was like, I don't know if I should pay the full price. And I probably should. It was a really good movie. The Then I watched Game Night. This is a 2018 comedy that I recommend everyone watch. I think, Joe, you watched this?
I have seen this movie. I think I watched this when I got my wisdom teeth pulled out, and I was like, I got nothing to do. I'll watch this.
Tyler,
this is fun.
have you ever seen this? Because I think you'd like this as well.
I've seen bits. It's the Arrested Development guy.
Yeah, Jason
Jason
Bateman
Bateman.
and Rachel McAdams are the two
The
leads.
trailers had me about to go see it.
Oh, Bradley, if you were at all interested, it's way better than it looks. even.
Let's fucking
Yes.
go. I was worried like it looks funny, but I was worried that that's like all it would be, like funny for one sitting. But I don't know.
I think this is a modern the modern great comedy. Not much like
Awesome.
comedy's kind of very hit or miss these days. I mean, it always was. We watched the Zoolander the other day, and I was like, yeah, that's a 2000s comedy. There were some good bits though. Don't get me wrong. And yeah, like I think this is just a fantastic comedy. The chemistry between the leads is fantastic. I also like how I don't know if you noticed this when you watched the show. The entire movie's plot is structured around replicating board game night games.
Yeah.
Where like, hey, we're playing hot potato in this scene. In this scene, we're secretly playing Jenga. In this scene, there's a plot line where the entire plot line is Guess Who, and it doesn't draw attention to it, but when you notice it, it's like, oh my god, they constructed the entire movie around that concept, which is really funny.
Yeah.
All right, down to the top three. We got Isle of Dogs. Has anyone seen this one? Stop motion movie.
I have seen Isle of Dogs.
Do you like this movie?
I thought this movie was good. It's not my favorite Wes Anderson movie.
Oh, this is the Wes Anderson one. I like the hacker kid.
Yo, yeah.
Oh my god, he's such a one bit character. He shows up twice.
That shit makes me laugh so hard.
I thought this movie was super charming, and I like the way it's told.
Yes.
I like how brutal and gory it gets. Like it's like these animals tear themselves to shreds for maggoty food and tear their like ears from each other. Like it got real. It's also very like the threat is very real. Like these animals are about to get euthanized. The only thing I don't like about this movie, it would be like it'd be up one slot. Do you remember the girl from the movie where like there's this foreign exchange student?
The one with the big afro.
Yeah.
Right? Yes.
I don't know if this is a hot take among us, but like she doesn't need to exist necessarily.
Yeah, she's kind of. I think her point is to kind of be like the American character that is a little bit more Americanized.
I don't think I needed that in this super Japanesey movie.
I don't think I needed that either.
I feel like the only argument I could make is that she kind of draws the inland plot line forward a little bit, but I don't know.
Yeah. It's kind of like it. I guess it is kind of like you need that person in the chair that like is there to like relay what's happening in the real world to like everyone else.
Sort of. I don't know. She just felt like a shoehorned love interest.
Her character could have been a little bit more unique.
Same with Johansson's dog. There's like this hot like all the dogs are fawning over this one girl. I like when the main character's like, "There's a bitch that carrying my character, my children." It's like, oh right, that means dog or female dog. Also, Bryan Cranston's the main character. That's pretty great. But yeah, like the Scarlett Johansson dog is also like just there for just to be a girl. The two top movies are sort of interchangeable. You got Puss in Boots. Three of us watched that together. God damn, is that a good movie?
Puss in Boots was so fucking good.
Like,
I'm really excited to see this.
Best anime movie of 2023.
You gonna go see Puss in Boots in there, and then we play Mosaic?
I could do that.
Yeah.
I like Puss in Boots is very rewatchable. I think it goes without saying, like, the wolf character in this movie is Chef's Kiss, one of the best animated villains they've ever made. But,
so good. I was shocked at the choreography of fights in this movie. Like they are actually like entertaining fights that have like strategy and what's going on. They utilize Puss's like size, even when he fights people, and like that's great.
This is done in the Into the Spider-Verse style, but it's got even better action than Into the Spider-Verse, which is nuts. Yeah. The only part I don't like is that the dog orphanage part goes on for too long, but aside from that, excellent movie.
It's a cat orphanage.
Sorry, right? Well, sorry, there was potentially a dog in there. I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah.
I can't believe they turned me around on that character by the end, by the way. The dog.
Oh, yes.
They got you.
I wasn't...
pranked.
Were you feeling sus? I was like, I don't know if I'm going to like this guy.
I like the dog. It's a Mexican street chihuahua.
Man,
Yeah.
I was really thinking they were going to go with the very cliche route of like what was going to happen to that character, and Puss was going to have to make a choice for the end of that plot.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of glad they didn't do that.
Me
I was
too.
like,
I
wow.
like the solution they took.
Yes.
Oh,
the
but-
realization they all had.
Goldilocks in this movie is Florence Pugh, Bradley. So if
Yes.
if that doesn't get you to go, nothing can.
Her
I'm
best
sold.
movie.
Her
In,
best
20
movie of the year, no. And then I
Also,
watched.
like-
Or go ahead.
Yeah. I was just gonna say, like, I'm surprised that also they were able to fit an entire character arc for like a tertiary character,
Yeah.
and it fit really well too.
The other villain was so fucking funny too. Jack Horner.
Yeah,
The bit with the cricket. Me and
Jimmy Cricket.
Austin were fucking cracking up. Every time that cricket spoke, it was an S tier joke.
Yeah. Also, the voice acting cast of like Jack Horner and every other character in this movie is racially on point. By the way,
Antonio Banderas went fucking crazy.
Oh, he slayed.
Oh
I
my-
was like,
I was surprised at how good his voice acting was.
him and
Yeah.
Selma Hayek have really good chemistry.
That was Kitty.
yes.
I will note, I never watched Puss in Boots 1. It didn't matter. You figure it out. You figure out who the characters are.
I think Antonio Banderas is married to Selma Hayek.
Oh.
Are they?
Yeah, hold on.
Well, damn, that makes that one plot line really sad. Extra sad.
No, his spouse is no
you're
one right
right.
now.
Yeah.
But anyway, they did a movie together. I think their first movie they did together was potentially The Desperado back in 1995.
Damn. That's some
Yeah,
lore.
like they go way back, and like they just have great
Yeah. Great chemistry with each other. I
Okay.
think that's what I'm thinking of.
And we get to the end. I watched Tar. This is the best Oscar bait movie of the year. It follows a orchestra. What composer? No, not composer. Like maestro. The person. Conductor. Thank you. Tar is one of the greatest conductors of modern times. She teaches classes. She's super well off. Her wife is also part of the orchestra, but she has a penchant to hire attractive young women to the orchestra. So the movie kind of follows this another gender kind of role reveal or returnal, where it's like she's kind of using her position to she's not doing anything super explicit, but she is definitely using it for like a position of power to get semi-sexual desires fulfilled. So it's kind of like a story you'd usually attribute to a man, because it usually is, but not exclusively, which is the story that this movie tells. It's so much more than that. I bring that up because it's the main through line, and it ends up being like a movie about cancellation. And when I'm watching the movie, I was like, this is a good movie. There's a lot happening. There's way too many repetitive scenes. That's like my one negative, but it kind of builds up to like how Tar is very in control, and by the end of the movie she is less so. But it also comments on like when someone is that popular, how far can they actually fall when you cancel them? So it's kind of like a cancel culture movie, but also highlighting a potential flaw where when someone is that popular, they don't necessarily fall as much as you would think from a situation like that, which is why some people say like cancel culture is not real because it's sort of temporary. That's besides the point. Like it's not necessarily making a hard stance on it. I think it's leaving it kind of ambiguous. But I talked about the end of this movie. Her fall from grace is conducting for the Monster Hunter World Orchestra. So the last shots of this movie is her conducting to a audience full of cosplaying Monster Hunter armors. And as I'm watching that, I was like, that logo looks really familiar. These armors look really familiar. And then it clicks that it's Monster Hunter. I'm like, wait, what? It was
like
surreal.
But you talk about a perfect ending of like, because if you think about it, like if you are someone that is all about orchestra and you do like these huge orchestral sets and you do classical music and you do your own halls, people come and see you, like I guess that's most insulting, but it's also kind of a perfect spot too, because like for you and me, that would be the coolest thing ever, be the person to conduct that orchestra and get to do that music.
A lot of people
right?
would love that job, exactly.
Yeah. So
But for
it's
Tar, it's a fall from grace, you know.
right.
But I
it's
will
not,
say,
like, buried in the dirt.
I will say she still gives her all. They kind of like she's still working hard. You see the setup, and she's still putting her all into it.
Mm-hmm.
But in the beginning of the movie, she talks about the most important part of being a conductor is the fact that she gets to manipulate the speed of the orchestra. But when you're doing something like the Monster Hunter Orchestra, they put those headphones on you with a click track, so you're staying on the speed of an already composed song. So they kind of strip away her favorite part of being an orchestra. But alternatively, when she's falling from grace, she watches videos of her favorite conductor when she was a kid, and he was all about like the most beautiful part of conducting is making people happy. So even though they stripped away some of her favorite aspects, she's making a lot of people happy on that final shot. So it's like a really like it's the kind of ending where I finished and I was like, that was a good movie, and I thought about it a lot. I was like, oh, that might be my favorite movie out of this batch.
I've been looking for that final scene everywhere on YouTube because I just want to see what that looks like. But man,
If I
what
ever,
a surreal experience.
if I find it,
I would-
I'll let you know.
If I was watching that movie, I'd be like, what the fuck is happening?
Yeah, I saw that comment where it's like, if you told me that a potential Oscar winner movie would end with a dude in a Kulu Yaku outfit, I was like, yeah, but that's how it'd be.